Okay. Hello. Welcome to my channel. This is the Show Love Tarot. I am Show Love. Thank you for stopping by. I haven't been on here in a while. I have been, what do they say? Like occupied. I have been dealing with other things. And the call to this channel has been strong the whole time. But you know, there are things that are more pressing than this. That's all I'm going to say. I came on tonight because it was a request that I come on tonight. Mainly because there is a lot going on. And I don't know if this is going to be, I do know. This is going to be part channel message. Whew. And part divination with these cards here. There is a lot going on. More than some of us care to know. Right? This card came out. Ignorance is bliss. You know, sometimes sometimes you just don't want to know the truth about stuff and people and things and stuff. You know. I mean, the truth sets you free. Yes, the truth sets you free. However, the truth also reveals some things that you'd rather not know. You know. I hope that makes sense. We are in some interesting times, friends. This is where you have to realize that every person, every single person has a dark side. This is the Queen of Wands. See that little cat there? I'm not saying that black cats are dark or negative or evil. I got 3 of them running around here. I got 3. You might see one pop up there. See what the hell I'm doing in a minute. But they're walking around. So I'm not one of those people who believe that. But every person has a breaking point. Every person has a limit. And what that limit is individual, and we're not required to know what those limits are for every individual that we are encountering, but there are signs. Oh, looky there. Look at the kitty, the black, okay. Hi. Hi, Peter. They're roaming around. They just had dinner. They're about to be really active. Work that stuff off. There are signs. So part of my message is has been part of the message. It's not my message. This is something I wouldn't wish on anyone. Right? Ten Cups in reverse. We don't want to wish this on anyone. And that is betrayal. Being betrayed. Yeah. We all try to avoid that position, you know, getting stuck in a situation where we're not in control. Emperor. Okay? None of us want to have that experience. I've been in those situations. I've been in situations where what I thought wasn't accurate. The friends that I thought I had weren't really my friends, or even coworkers, or family. It could be anyone. That disappointment that comes when you realize Five of Cups. What was it? Yep, Five of Cups. The disappointment and the heartbreak when you realize that your friends aren't your friends, your family's not your family, they don't have your back, and people you thought you trusted that you gave your all to. I mean, we all know the story. I don't even need to go deep into this, but current, the zeitgeist of today, the current situations are on multiple levels. I don't even need to point out any one situation of current news that's going on. I don't need to do that. Y'all know what's going on. Y'all know the fucking news. I'm not gonna be one of these YouTubers that's just like rehashing the gruesomeness of the violence and the demonic presence that's been in the news, that's been dominating social media, what we've been offered, that takes us away from who we really are as spiritual beings. I'm gonna try to keep it elevated. You know what I mean? There's enough content creators out there talking about the gruesome and the demonic and there's enough of that being shown. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna focus on the light. As hard as that shit is. Woo, we're gonna focus on it. I'm gonna focus on the light. Because that's what we're here to do. I'm the high priestess, you know. We're here to fill that cup. Fill that void where there is no love. We got to fill that void, and there is a lot of no love situations going around on this planet right now as we know it. We're not going to talk about the wars all over the world. We're not going to talk about situations on, in our governments and hospitals and schools and education and the violence that goes on around the nation and the world, the disrespect of human life. We're not gonna, it's a broken record. It's like Groundhog's Day. We've been living this over and over and over again. It's been normalized. It's been a karmic cycle that just keeps recycling. But it's coming to an end. There is a I hate to say this, because this whole thing about being woke, whole phrase of wokeness, and it has been diminished by those who suffer from people being woke the most. I hope that makes sense. I can't repeat it. Don't ask me. Run the tape back. Run it back. That's what they say these days. Now run it back. Let's run it back. So, there is a higher order, a hierophant. There's a higher order that's coming through. There's a higher order that's at hand. And unfortunately, for that higher order to make its way, to push itself through, what is not unlike that higher order has to be exposed. What is unlike the higher order that is making its way through into our experience, into this manifested reality that we call whatever we call it, life here on earth. It's a higher order. So anything unlike itself is being exposed. A lot of it is gruesome. A lot of it is demonic. A lot of it is it's the past. It's the residuals of the past. Six of Cups, and there needs to be a balancing out of what has been the Six of Pentacles. And the new thing, the new gift that's coming forth is the higher order, the Hierophant of a higher intelligence, higher vibration, higher spirituality, higher knowingness, higher awareness that is making its way through. But in order for that to happen, the truth that's been buried has to come forward. We have to walk away from the deficit of the truth that we have been living. So, whew, okay, I went on a little tangent. I don't know, I'm not going on a tangent. Maybe I'm just following spirit. I feel like that's what's happening. That's what happens in that channel message. You just follow. So the higher order that's being brought in is exposing. You know, think of a higher order as like a light, like a spotlight. You know, like when those. I was watching a high-speed chase the other day in Southern California. It was on some YouTube. I don't know how I got onto it, but it was an hour and 45-minute long high-speed chase, and this guy was like, his luck. Whew. I mean, and no, you know, very few people were hurt. I don't think anyone was hurt, like, you know, deadly, but somehow every obstacle this person, I'm not like glorifying this guy who kept, you know, evading the police, but I was just amazed at the message from my friend Luce. Hi Luce, if you're watching. Real time hello. So anyway, I was reading in the comments on this high speed chase, like this, someone said, "Oh, what? This guy is really lucky. Like he kept getting out of all of these obstacles and just like, you know, he was just able to like overcome and overcome and overcome." Which is what we're all being called to do, honestly. Once this higher order comes through, there's a requirement to overcome all past limitations, ideas, mistakes, And that takes a level of acknowledging what those things are. No longer burying the truth about situations, because that blocks your movement forward. Yeah. That stability and security that many are looking for is dependent upon it's not so much a conformity. This higher order, you don't really have to conform to it. It's just a matter of like aligning with it. It's aligning with who you truly are. You know, a lot of people, the standards of society has been so low for so long. You know, the things that people have accepted, like the what do they call it? Desensitization of certain situations. I mean, you see it all around. I'm not going to point out any certain situations, but you know what I'm talking. A lot of you know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to give any power to any situation that's going on right now in the world, because a lot of people, it's demonic. It's demonic. The situation in Idaho, situation in Mexico, situation like situation after situation after situation. LGBT bar, all of that is demonic. We wrestle not against flesh and blood. I'm gonna look at this phrase. You know, I agree with Cipher Flower, Vicki Willis. If anyone deters you from knowing the Bible, especially Psalms, for me, that's just my put, then you should run. We wrestle not. I know I've known this phrase. I hope I won't cry. I'm just trying not to cry this whole. I didn't want to come over here. I'm not, you know. Ephesians 6:12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities. You know, when I was a kid, my grandmother used to say this. My mom said this all the time. She still says it. If I were to bring up this verse to my mother right now, oh, she could verbatim remember. I promise you. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. If you're not operating on that level of this knowledge, I'm not for you. My readings are not for you. I'm gonna just go ahead and tell you. I'm not interested in, you know, who you're gonna marry, or I'm not interested in all that, or how, if you're gonna be a millionaire or whatever. I don't care. My spirit team don't care. We're here to help expose and rebuke that which denies the light. Period. High Priestess. Oh, that's hidden. We're here to bring it out. Okay? So I'm not gonna be your typical, oh, where they talk about third party situations and stuff. I mean, yeah, third party situation. My idea of a third party is Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. You know, it's a spiritual thing. Because as above, so below. It's not as below, so above. Everything happens on a spiritual level first. Everything begins with an idea, a thought. This glass here, that's holding my delicious wine. Someone thought of this first. Someone thought about the wine. It's a thought. Everything happens. Everything's energy. Everything's frequency. It's not a high, low, good or bad frequency. It's just frequency. So I'm a different spiritual teacher, and I'm one of those that I need to own that. I'm not going to fit in with all these other really basic. There's a purpose for that, but that's not me. I'm a high priestess. We have lofty thoughts over here. Lofty readings. The other way doesn't work. So there's an offer coming. There's an offer ahead that will require you to break your karmic cycles. I know what's today's date? The 21st. We're probably already out of Scorpio season. I could not bring myself to do the Scorpio season reading because there was just too much going on. Too much important situations. Too much demonic activity. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. You know what? If you don't believe in that shit, you need to not watch me anymore. Because that's where I operate. We slay demons over here. We rebuke them. That's our job. We're ending that cycle. Wheel of Fortune. It's a new day, right? Because of the times. Like, I can't really be playing anymore about this. Not that I was playing before. I mean, like, if you watch my other videos, you know that this is an assignment for me. It's not something that I want to do. It's something that I ordained to do. And I'm not trying to moan and complain about it. I'm just doing it because you know what happens to those folks that moan and complained in the desert for 40 years. So I'm not one to moan and complain. I don't want to be stuck nowhere for. Oh my God. If you want to get unstuck, this is a tip. Y'all need to pay attention. Whoever feels stuck right now, stop moaning and complaining. Do all things without complaining and disputing, that you may become blameless and harmless children of God. Those people were stuck in the desert for 40 years. because they were moaning and complaining. That's the last thing you want to do when you're in a situation that you're trying to get out of. If you start running and complaining, that's it for you. I mean, you're just making it harder on yourself. Stop running and complaining. I'm looking at this verse. I want to read it because it's important. This is one of my favorite lessons that I had to fucking learn. It was hard as fuck. Ooh. 40 years in the desert. Can you believe it? In the desert. That dry land. No fruit. Nothing producing. 40 years in the desert. In biblical terms, it's probably like 4, 5, 6 years here. Because everything's been accelerated. But moaning and complaining. Numbers 11:14. Let's see if this is it. One day the Israelites started complaining about their troubles. The Lord heard them and became so angry that he destroyed the outer edges of their camp with fire. It's because they were complaining. They were complaining, so he destroyed their outer edges of their camp. When the people begged Moses to help, he prayed and the fire went out. They named the place Burning because in his anger the Lord had set their camp on fire. Whew. One day some foreigners among the Israelites became greedy for food, and even the Israelites themselves began moaning. We don't have any meat. They don't have any meat. In Egypt, we could eat all the fish we wanted, and there was cucumbers and melons and all kinds of onions and garlic too. But we're starving out here. And the only food we have is manna. The only food. Did they bless that manna and be grateful for that manna? The manna was like small, whitish seeds and tasted like something like baked with sweet olive oil. It appeared at night with the dew. In the morning, the people would collect the manna, grind or crush it in flour, and then boil it and make it into thin wafers. The Israelites stood around the tents complaining. Moses heard them and was upset. And they had made the Lord angry. He prayed, I am your servant, Lord. So why are you doing this to me? Why are you got me here with these moaners and complainers? What have I done to deserve this? You made me responsible for all these people, but they're not my children. You told me to nurse them along and to carry them to the land you promised their ancestors. They keep whining for meat. But where can I get meat for them? This is Moses, like, God, this job is too much for me. I say that all the time to God. I say, if you ain't saying that to God every day, you ain't doing your job. How can I take care of all of these people by myself? If this is the way you're going to treat me, just kill me now and end the miserable life. The Lord said, choose 70 of Israel's respected leaders and go with them to the sacred tent. While I'm talking with you there, I will give them some of your authority so that they can share responsibility for my people. You will no longer have to care for them by yourself. Asking you shall receive. Right? As for the Israelites, I have heard them complaining about not having meat and about being better off in Egypt. So tell them to make themselves acceptable to me, because tomorrow they will have meat. In fact, they will have meat day after day for a whole month, not just a few days or even 10 or 20. They turned against me and wanted to go back to Egypt. Now they will eat meat until they get sick of it. Moses replied, at least 600,000 grown men are here with me. How can you say there will be enough? This is Moses doubting. You know that new thing, that new offer I was talking about that's coming in? You can't be doubting shit. Why are you doubting? You gotta have courage. You can't be some little weakling thinking you know everything. You know what God's intention is for you. You don't know nothing. The more you know, the more you know you don't know. You know God's intention for you. You know what God's. You just know you're on assignment. You just know you're there for God. You just know you're a humble servant. That means you're not going in knowing that you know what's going on. You don't know what's going on. You know that you're there for God. Period. Dot. But this is not you. You're not. I'm not for you. Please log off. Please log off. You're not ready. You're not ready for me. You're not ready for me. I wasn't ready for me until recently, but look, this is who I am. The Empress. And only Empress knows other empresses. Only emperors know empresses. So if you're not an emperor, if you're not an empress, good day. No, I'm not for you. I am not your wish fulfillment. No! Moses replied, at least 600,000 men are here with me. How can you say that there will be enough meat to feed them and their families for a whole month? Even if we butchered all the sheep and cattle or caught every fish in the sea, we would not have a... This is Moses doubting the Lord God of his being. The Lord answered, I can do anything. Watch and you'll see my words come true. So be that. Moses told the people what the Lord said. Then he chose 70 respected leaders and went... He was obedient, basically. The Lord took some authority from Moses, took some responsibility, and said, okay, you do this, you delegate. He delegated. And when the Lord's Spirit took control of them, they started shouting like prophets. They had to be receptive to what was being offered. Remember him? Remember when he said, choose 70 respected leaders. Leaders know when to humble themselves and receive higher knowledge, higher authority. You gotta be careful who you're dealing with, my people. So the Lord said, okay, do this and do this. So Moses did it. The Lord's Spirit took control of them. The Lord's Spirit took control of them. Elad and Medad were two leaders who had not gone to the tent, but when the Spirit took control of them, they began shouting like prophets right there in the camp. A boy ran to Moses and told him about Elad and Medad. Joshua was there helping Moses, and he had done as he had done since he was young. And he said to Moses, Sir, you must stop them. But Moses replied, Are you concerned what this might do to me? I wish the Lord would give his Spirit to all of his people. so everyone could be a prophet. Then Moses and the 70 leaders went back to camp. So Joshua was like, Moses, they're starting to prophesy. They're starting to do what you're supposed to be doing. And Moses was like, good. Bitch, I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of dealing with all these motherfuckers. I need help. Oh, God, today I asked for it and I got it. So be that. This is a lesson. Ask for help and you shall get it. But you have to know that you need help in the first motherfucking place. What is this? Some fluff. Anyway. Moses knew he needed help. And wasn't ashamed or embarrassed or too arrogant to ask for it in the first fucking place. And that's what he did. This is what we all need to be doing right motherfucking now. Asking for help. And not just for ourselves, because that would be fucking selfish. Ask for help for this, your family, your friends, your loved ones, your planet, your world, your government, your neighbors, your enemies, your friends, your loved ones, your pets, plants. Everything that's alive, you should be asking. You're asking for all those things to be safe and protected, guided, and encouraged to evolve and grow. If you're not doing that, I don't know what you're doing. What are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? Is it all about you? If it's all about you, get off my fucking page. I'm not for you. I'm here for the servants. I'm here for the healers. I'm here for the producers, the evolvers, the advancers, the innovators, the protectors of humanity and of this planet. That's not you. Goodbye. I don't care if I got one person watching my motherfucking videos. If that one person isn't me, then so be it. I want my people who I've been ordained to connect to and reach out to teach, to learn from. Those are the ones I want. I don't care if it's like 2 people. Well, I don't care. I don't want to do this anyway. That's from the beginning. I stopped doing this years ago. But because of the state of the motherfucking world, here I am. So be that. Sometime later, the Lord sent a strong wind that blew quails in from the sea until Israel's camp was completely surrounded by birds piled up about a meter high for many kilometers in every direction. The people picked up quails for 2 days. These same people were like, "Where are we going? You ain't got no food, you ain't got no meat." Each person filled at least 10 large baskets. Then they spread them out to dry. Before the meat could be eaten, the Lord became angry and sent a deadly disease throughout the camp. After they had buried the people who had been so greedy for the meat, they called the place Graves of the Greedy. So be that. Israel then broke camp and traveled to Hazeroth. So I don't know if you guys know the story. He goes on and on and on. The people disgraced. 12 men are sent to Canaan. Moses was sent to Canaan. 12 men left to explore Canaan from the Zin Desert in the south all the way to town. After exploring the land of Canaan for 40 days, the 12 men returned to Kadesh. And the people what they had, and they told the people what they had seen. They showed them the fruit and said, "Look at this fruit. The land was explored, rich with milk and honey, but the people who live there are strong and their cities are large. We even saw clans. Besides that, they're like, it's going to be rough getting there to the land of milk and honey. But if you stop motherfucking complaining, murmuring, and complaining, that's going to be your assignment. You're going to have to stop complaining about your current situation and stuff." I can't tell you. These are gems. I'm not just talking about some fictional stuff. If you stop murmuring, complaining, this is what happens. Queen of Pentacles. Put yourself where you go. Is it queen or king? Don't matter. Don't matter if you're a queen or a king. You could be both, I guess. I don't know. I study biology, but I don't know. Hierophant. It's done unto you as you believe. Whatever you believe, so be it. What I do know, and what has proven to be so, is that complaining and murmuring keeps you stuck. Stop it. Move into this high. I know it sucks. This shift, this change that's happening, it hurts. There's a lot of horrible things that's going on in the place, on this planet, in this nation, in this world that sucks. Murmuring and complaining does not help. Bitching and complaining. You gotta find something positive about every situation. I know it's hard. It sucks. Sometimes. But you gotta find it. You gotta find that silver lining. In that horrible situation, there's so many horrible situations, but you know, when horrible things happen to like good people, right? But it exposes the wicked. Well, that may have saved 1,000 people because that one person's light was able to shine a light on wickedness in their lifetime. It was one person, two people. I know it's hard to comprehend, but there are no coincidences, and souls and spirits, they know what's up while they're here. The human experience is, I mean, you know, no disrespect, it's purposeful. But there's so much missing information in the human experience, the spiritual, the higher information is where you get most of your answers. So if all of you, if you, oh, it's 44 minutes. I've never done a video this long. So you know there's some serious shit going on if you got me on there for 45 fucking minutes. I'm about to go because this is way too long, much longer than I plan to be on here. But there's a lot going on. I highly recommend you guys learning about spiritual protection. Starting to meditate and pray. Highly recommend. I'm going to do some videos about some of those things. If you don't already know. I mean, you could follow some other people. There's Dr. Tochi. There's Third Generation Conjure. There's Cypher Flower. Those are the people that I learned from. So find them out. I'll put their information down below so you can follow them too. I don't care where you get your fucking information from, but you need some fucking information on how to protect yourself in this time. At this time. We wrestle not against, what's that phrase? Hold on. I'm going to end with this. Ephesians 6:12. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities. You don't know that word, you gotta look it up. Go look up principalities. I'm not gonna, I'm not your dictionary. Against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Okay. Read the full chapter of Ephesians 6:12. Some of it may rub your spirit wrong, but it's okay. Hopefully you could, spiritually grow past all that and find what's in there that will protect you and save you during this time. Okay? Yeah, 46 minutes, 47 minutes. You know something goes on. Something's going on. Good night, folks.